So Solana has broken its all-time high once again today, now over $200 or thereabouts, which is absolutely insane growth from a layer 1 blockchain that started off the year at around just $1. So in this video, we're paying our respects to Solana. We're feeling the FOMO of missing out on this one, but we're also going to look ahead to some of the opportunities that may exist on this ecosystem. If you enjoy the content today, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's jump in. So Solana was created by Anatoly Yakovenko. He has an infamous story where he had a few beers and a few coffees and came up with the idea of implementing something now known as proof of history. 8 innovations that make Solana the first web scale blockchain. It's one of the most high performant blockchains in the whole of crypto, and for this reason here. So these 8 core infrastructures, proof of history being the main one here, a clock before consensus. So these innovations, and I'll leave the article down below, go and read it through and just try and soak up as much as you can. It's very technical, but you'll understand or get a grasp for why this blockchain can perform a transaction once every 400 milliseconds. But the very short TLDR is that with proof of history, they're able to embed an almost internal atomic clock, which enables the blockchain to predetermine the order of block production and ensure the blocks are propagated in a rapid fashion, much quicker than any other blockchain has been able to do up to this date. But in a very simplified manner, it means it's like having a spreadsheet, but even before the data actually arrives to you, you've already got it sorted and filtered. So Solana, $200 on the money right now, number 6 of all cryptocurrencies. A parabolic rise over the last few months, now sits at a market cap of around $60 billion. Also, take note here of the 24-hour trading volume, 14, almost 15 billion. Absolutely astounding stuff. There is a lot of money flowing into this crypto, and this isn't from people like you and me. This is institutional bid. So what have these guys been doing right? Well, over this year, I think they've now had 3 hackathons. Essentially, these hackathons are times where individuals within the community come together and showcase the projects that they're building out. Many of these have been highly successful. One that springs to mind is Mango Markets. And by having these regular hackathons, which are well incentivized and they have a lot of money to pour into successful teams, means that they're getting a lot of traction and they're gaining more and more projects building out on Solana. So this is just enabling them to scale a lot quicker, have a lot of things built on top of Solana, and that network effect is starting to show, and that's why we're seeing a parabolic advance in price. And of course, it is backed by Sam Bankman-Fried. We'll get into that in just a minute, but essentially this means when you've got a billionaire backing your ecosystem and saying, this is where we're going to build out all of our core pieces of tech, it means that anyone else who wants to build over here knows that they're going to also be on the same team as one of the leading guys in the crypto space and someone who will bankroll your project if it's good enough. You can see some of the influential individuals around the crypto space who are on the judging panel for the most recent hackathon, and I expect a lot of more first-class projects to come out of this recent one. I think it ends in October. So let's take a look at this price chart, one of the most glorious ones in cryptocurrency. And let's just measure from the 1st of January down here somewhere, around $1.50. It's up a healthy 13,000% at its peak here of around $200. An absolutely ridiculous rate of return for investing in this. And as much as you may be kicking yourself like I am, I've only got like a handful of SOL. I never really deeply invested into this one. And you probably got regrets just like me, but probably no more so than this guy here. Back on January 9th, SBF was having a bit of an argument here with CoinMamba, and he essentially said, I'll buy as much SOL as you have right now at $3. Sell me all you want, then go F off. This was after a little bit of a spat, and the tweets from this have since been redacted by CoinMamba, but this forever goes down in the history books, and NFTs have been made around this tweet. The price of SOL was around $2.50 at that point, and then the rest, of course, is history. So don't feel too bad about yourself. Other people have made big errors with Solana as well. But I would like to point out this line here, because this really is opportunity being given to us time and time again. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches of the $24 level for Solana over the last 3 months. And then since this low here, around the 21st of July, we've had a parabolic advance and almost a 10x out of Solana. And what we've got to notice down here is the bid. The amount of volume down here is absolutely massive. So on the 7th of September here, the biggest daily volume candle in its recorded history. And this represents over $16 billion in trade. Now, what's very interesting here as well, clearly these aren't just people like you and me buying into Solana at this price point. This is institutional money flowing into crypto. We're starting to see that kind of Wall Street level money, big time investors really get interested and start buying up these layer 1 altcoins and blockchains. So today we executed a Solana Sol OTC trade worth over $100 million. This from Wintermute, one of the market makers in the crypto ecosystem, and they managed to execute that just 2 days ago. So over $100 million in one single trade. That is the kind of volume coming in for this, and that shows you the level of conviction institutional investors have for projects like Solana right now. So it does bode very well for the future of this project. Now, as a result of all these surges in valuations and the more and more projects getting built out on Solana, we're seeing the TVL on this blockchain go straight to the top right here. So a bit of a hockey stick, now over $8 billion in total TVL. If we go back to the start of August here, it was around 1.2. So around a 7x in TVL in just over 1 month. So this is going up and up very quickly. I was checking in on the TVL of this just last week. Radium at that point was #1 for TVL with just over $1 billion. But since then, it has been absolutely leapfrogged by the likes of Sunny and Saber. We've got a yield aggregator and a stablecoin swap platform. Both of these have attracted over $4 billion in combined TVL. And both of these are relatively new projects. So clearly money is coming in here, but also being deployed into the Solana ecosystem. So a point I want to drive home here is the fact that we may have missed the boat and the most exponential gains on Solana right now. However, the ecosystem plays may generate the next 100x. And in fact, these are where you have to be looking to make those kind of 100x gains. Because if the overall ecosystem is bringing in billions of dollars in valuation on pretty much a daily basis at this point, I mean, Solana went from like 12 billion market cap up to 60 billion in around a month. There's going to be a huge trickle down effect into the projects built out here. So utilizing TVL growth and those kind of things here on DeFi Llama is something you may want to dip your toes into and see where there may be immense value. Now we know NFTs are the flavor of the summer. And not to be missing out on this, Solana has its own NFT marketplaces, which have really kicked off, I would say, over the last month, and kind of in line with the parabolic price rise of the SOL token. Makes a lot of sense. If you're getting involved with NFTs, you need to have a lot of the currency you trade with, so in this case, SOL, on hand, so you can actually go ahead and buy or mint those various NFT protocols. And with this as well, a lot of SOL just gets locked into those various NFTs, and we see a recycling of that kind of wealth. People who get into NFTs don't typically just buy one and done, they're buying multiples upon multiples. It's quite an addictive ecosystem to get involved with. SOL price nears $200 after FTX's Solana-enabled NFT marketplace goes live. So this is exclusive to US customers on FTX, but Mr. SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, CEO of crypto derivatives platform FTX, announced Solana's integration into FTX upcoming non-fungible token marketplace. This means you can use your Solana to purchase those NFTs. And very interestingly, it says the platform would also make it possible to trade NFT collections from rivaling marketplace OpenSea on FTX. And I'm sure for most people now, OpenSea is totally prohibitive due to the Ethereum gas cost. So if FTX can gather some of the market share from there and start listing all the OpenSea items, I'm not sure exactly how that would work, but we could see a huge flurry of usage on the FTX platform. And if Solana is one of the main currencies for that, again, more demand for the SOL token. Now, I can't utilize this myself as I'm not in the US. And to use FTX, you've got to do all your KYC process. So even changing my VPN wouldn't help. If you haven't used a VPN, link down below for Surfshark. Make sure you do use one. Keep yourself safe online. But you can see that FTX is really on the ball here. And they're just pushing and pushing and pushing. Sam Bankman-Fried is someone you do not want to bet against. And if he's giving his blessing to Solana, you know it's going to be a winner. So this marketplace looks rather good, but also does Solana art. So this is one of the main trading places or marketplaces for NFTs on the SOL ecosystem. And I think this really does rival OpenSea already. The UI is absolutely exquisite. You can actually filter and type in the kind of traits you want to have a look for. Maybe I want to go for diamond teeth on these degen apes. You can easily get them up like that. You've got the price history, you've got the latest sales, all of these things at the touch of your fingertips. So I think this is a pretty awesome looking NFT marketplace where I think most of the flippers are going to have to go because OpenSea is just too expensive to use. So the NFT economy booming on Sol equals more demand for the Sol token. So potential for even more price rise due to this fact alone. But not only NFTs, we're seeing the burgeoning economy of gaming on the blockchain coming to Solana as well. Star Atlas pretty much broke all IDO records recently with a huge run up from their IDO price to the listing. I think it was up like over 125x or something crazy. And for the seed round investors, I think it was up over 500x. But we're seeing games that are trying to create their own metaverses come to Solana. Because it's so scalable, over 50,000 transactions per second are possible. You can build out your own in-game economies and not worry about transaction fees or transaction speed. 400 milliseconds is the average block time. So now for a stat to really make you feel a bit unwell here, and that is this, the year-to-date ROI of popular blockchain platforms. Solana, number one. If you invested $1,000 on January the 1st in Solana, you would be sat on $138,000 right now, which is incredible and also does make you feel slightly sick if you weren't investing in this back then. And we can see it's outperformed all other blockchains, but you've got to remember when you see stats like this, of course it can make you feel a little bit salty, but on the other hand, this is what crypto enables. There is genuine potential to get 100x returns even on layer 1 blockchains. So that's not even going into the altcoin forest and try and pick out gems. You can get 100x gains from even, I would even suggest, are more safer bets that are out there. So if this doesn't make you bullish on crypto and the possibilities to make tons of money in this market, I don't know what will. But congrats to anyone who was an early investor in the Solana eco. We're also seeing additional demand for stablecoins on Solana. They're building out more money markets, yield aggregators, that kind of thing. So of course, there's going to be more demand for stables, so you can go ahead and farm and utilize these things. In less than a week, Tether doubled its token release on Solana from $390 million to $790 million. So again, a parabolic jump up, a doubling in just the last week. And in terms of double ups, this is an awesome chart from Solana Daily, really worth following these guys on Twitter. They put out so many updates on a daily basis that if you ever want a stat for Solana, just go to their page and you will find it. So the first double up at the start of the year just took 7 days. The second one, $3 to $6, 27 days, $6 to $14, 18 days, 49 days, 36 days. Then we had a bit of a malaise as we had a very sharp and uncomfortable correction during the summer, dropped back down to $23. This was the God tier entry on July 20th. And then it just took 26 days to double to $46. Then just another 13 days, so less than 2 weeks, to get to $96. And then I think the most meteoric rise here in just 11 days from $96 to $191. So absolutely incredible stuff, huge growth rate from Solana, but it is worth bearing in mind at this point with a market cap of $60 billion, it's probably just worth looking at ecosystem plays rather than trying to YOLO all your money into Sol. At this point, you've missed out a huge chunk of gains here, and to do another 10x takes it to a $600 billion market cap, which is phenomenally big. I'm not saying it can't get there, but I think you could get there a lot quicker on maybe some of the ecosystem coins. So as we scroll down through the list, you can see that many of these now have hundreds of millions of dollars in market cap. The likes of the Serum Dex, $500 million, Oxygen, 472, Mango Markets, one of the hackathon winners, $430 million, which has literally come from just seed investment from the hackathon earlier in the year. Incredible stuff. But as we go down a little bit lower, I would say around the $100 million and below is where I would really be looking to see if we can find the next unicorn. So the ones I particularly like down here are number one, Mercurial down here, $37 million market cap. And if we just keep going down here, you will see Sunny Aggregator at $14 million. No time to go through these in detail right now, but I will work on putting together a video on each of these, as I do want to ensure I've got some Solana ecosystem bags packed and ready for the run towards this end of the year. I think Q4 is going to be a huge period for the crypto markets as retail re-enters the market again in a big way. They're not going to be able to afford to transact on Ethereum. They're going to have to look for alternates. And Solana is probably going to be one of the main beneficiaries here. So what a crazy year Solana has had, and we're only 9 months in. Now, out of these ecosystem plays, I would like you to drop below your suggestions. Where should I be looking? What should I be researching into? What do you think is going to be the next 10, 20, 50, 100x on the Solana ecosystem? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching once again, guys. If you enjoyed the content today, make sure you subscribe and turn on that post notification, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.